So we're going to go live here. We're live at 4:35 on Tuesday, May 20th, and we have a tornado warning that is currently in effect for Colbert County up in northwest Alabama. So let's take a little closer look at what's producing that warning. This is a severe storm that is really along Highway 72 at Cherokee. Within the core of this storm, we have probably some pretty decent-sized hail falling. And to the south of that hail core, you can see the hook and the inflow notch, and there could very well be a tornado in this region right in through here, only about 3-4 miles south of the town of Cherokee. And again, this is moving due east. There's really not much northward component of motion here. It's moving to the right of the mean flow. And often these right turners in a situation like this can indeed produce tornadoes. And of course, we had one earlier today. The tornado warning that is in effect will be up until, looks like 5:15 this afternoon. So in terms of who's in and who's out, we'll take a look at that. You can see that the polygon, the red line on this graphic here, that does include areas south of the Tennessee River. This includes Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals. It does not include Florence. So basically, if you're south of the river in the shoals, you're in the warning and you're in the polygon. If you're in Florence and points north, you're not. So again, the encouragement obviously is for everybody to be sheltered in Colbert County in the path of this potential tornado. So again, at 4:37, we have a tornado warning that's in effect now for Colbert County in northwest Alabama. We have potential of a tornado now, which is located just south of Cherokee and moving to the east, maybe a little northward component of motion, maybe a little north of due east. But the highest probability of this tornado impact will be perhaps a little south of the shoals. And again, that will keep coming over here in the direction of Leeton. This will likely be crossing U.S. Highway 43 near or just south of Muscle Shoals in about 10-15 minutes, around 4:50, 4:55 this afternoon. So this is the only tornado warning in the entire state, but just wanted to show that and stay with you here for a few minutes. And for me, just one note here. We're in the middle of a live newscast on the television side over in Studio A, so I'll be bouncing back and forth between the live newscast in there and this coverage. But again, just wanted to let you know that this is the kind of day that the analogs we're seeing, the upper air pattern, the time of the year. We could have some pretty rough weather with this setup in mid to late May. A summer-like air mass with spring-like dynamics involved here. So if you go under a tornado warning polygon this evening or tonight, we just encourage you to take it seriously. All your precautions. That means you're going to be not in a mobile home. If you're in a trailer, you need to go to your shelter now. If there's no shelter, a gas station, a fast food store, something that offers a shelter. You can't be in a mobile home for something like this, and you can't be in a car. And obviously, nobody should be driving right there from Cherokee back over to the Shoals. That would be a really bad idea. A car and a trailer, worst place to be. And in a site-built house in your safe place, a helmet, bicycle helmet is perfect. Motorcycle helmet, football helmet, do anything, because most of the really severe injuries in tornadoes, it's blunt force trauma above the shoulders. So again, we are watching reports carefully that are coming in, and it seems like mostly what I'm seeing, it's hail. And understand, we had a tornado that passed south of this area around noon today, up at Waterloo. Now, this is south of that first tornado track we had around noon today. And again, that circulation is awfully close to or just east of Cherokee. And again, you can see right in through here, this is going to be the greatest concern. We've got the inflow notch. We have the hook. We have a velocity couplet. It's not the tightest in the world, but again, that would be supportive of possibly a tornado. And we should mention that the elevation, the beam height in here is at 4,600 feet. So the radar beam from Columbus Air Force Base is 4,600 feet off the ground. This is not the best low-level sample that we could get of this storm because of the beam height. But again, based on what's happened earlier today, we encourage everybody in Colbert County in that polygon to be in a safe place. And if you missed it, This is what we had earlier today in that same general area, a little north of there, up in the far western part of Lauderdale County. That was at 12 noon today. That was taken from Waterloo School. And I say this all the time, but it's true that the first storm of the day will often talk to you and tell you a story. And if you're willing to listen, that will give you a clue as to what might happen for the rest of the event. And whenever we see that little isolated storm performing like that, that's a sign the atmosphere is certainly primed for something like this. So again, we've got a tornado warning that is in effect now for Colbert County. And this is for those in the shoals. The northern extent of the polygon is basically on the river. So if you're in Florence and points north, you're not in the polygon. Now you understand you got a severe thunderstorm warning. You might see some hail, strong winds, tremendous amounts of rain and lightning, no doubt about that. You've got a severe thunderstorm warning, but in terms of the tornado danger, the greatest chance of the tornado danger is south of the shoals. So again, if you are in Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals, you are in the polygon. Respect the polygon and get into a safe place, as the structure is looking pretty impressive here. And again, we're watching all the reports very carefully. A lot of folks are looking at this. And again, at the moment, it seems like the biggest issue, it's large hail. Most likely large hail is falling right in through here, just to the east of Cherokee, between Cherokee and the shoals. And again, that hail core is moving right toward Florence, Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals, the hail core, this part right here. In fact, let me back this out a little bit. So this is the hail core here, and the tornado threat would be just below the hail core here. And again, the storm is moving to the east, maybe a little north of due east, but again, there's not much northward component of motion here. And again, you can see the northern extent of that polygon is basically on the river. So if you're in Florence and points north, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning, no tornado warning. Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals, you are in the polygon, and you need to be sheltered. I know it is inconvenient. I know it's 4:43 on a Tuesday afternoon when people typically would be driving home from work, but the last place you want to be is in a car in a situation like this. You do not want to be in a trailer. If you live in a mobile home, you need to go to your shelter. Get there quick. You don't want to be caught out in this as it comes on through. So again, the new volume scan, the circulation is looking tighter right here. And again, you can see very well-defined structure in both the reflectivity, which is on the right, the velocity, which is on the left. And while we've got this, let's quickly look at the correlation coefficient product to see if we see any evidence of debris being lofted. And that's just a lot of noise. At this point, we're not really seeing a well-defined TDS. That would be a tornado debris signature. We're not seeing that, which is good. But again, remember, it takes a little time for those to typically show up in a radar scan. So if you are in the town of Cherokee, the risk of a tornado is ended for you. Cherokee and points west, you're good, all clear. The Shoals, Sheffield, Tuscumbia, you need to stay sheltered. If you're in Florence, you might see some large hail from this and very strong winds. And understand, in addition to the chance of a tornado, this is most likely producing some very strong straight-line winds. And again, let me just warn you what's going to happen here in just a second. I'm going to have to go into Studio A and do some old-school television. I will leave the stream up with the radar so you can watch both panels here. And again, on the left, that's reflectivity. On the right, that's velocity. And I'll leave both of the panels up so you can see that. And I've got to walk in the room and do a couple of weather segments on the TV side. Too many jobs to do here. But again, I just wanted to go live and be sure that everybody in the Shoals was aware of this. And we advise everybody to take all the warnings seriously today. And I want to stress this is the only warning in the whole state of Alabama. Elsewhere, it's quiet. If you're in Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden. And again, really quickly, this is the approximate timeline for the severe storms. The Tennessee Valley, obviously now. Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, we'll say the window between 5 and midnight. Down to the south, Montgomery, Auburn, Opelika, Lake Martin, the window there between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. So again, what we're going to do here is you're just going to see me walk out of the shot. Got to go do some old school television over here, but I will be back in just a moment. So just everybody stay tuned. And again, just watch things carefully. Again, there's the radar. And again, we will be back here in just a matter of moments. So, everybody, And we are back. Just apologize for having to bounce back and forth between the old school television and this live stream. But again, for those that are just joining us, we have a tornado warning in effect now for the shoals. We have a thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado that is coming into Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals, the greatest tornado threat south of the river. And that really, really large hail is right now coming into Sheffield and Muscle Shoals. It's probably some very large hail. This could be baseball-sized hail. And again, the greater tornado threat is down to the south, down in this region here. And it's going to be crossing Highway 43 here soon. So again, the message I have for you is to be sheltered in Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals, as a very dangerous storm is basically right on top of the Quad Cities right now. And even if you're not in the tornado part of this thing, very large hail is likely falling. This could be baseball-sized hail. And Florence, now north of the river, understand you're going to have this large hail. The weather's horrible there, but in terms of the tornado threat, the greatest tornado threat is down to the south, again, south of the river. So a very dangerous thunderstorm coming through Colbert County. A tornado warning is in effect. And, of course, if this warning continues, it will be extended into northern Lawrence County to include areas north of Moulton. That Alabama Highway 20 corridor, Town Creek, back over toward Hillsboro, back over to Trinity, possibly in Morgan County. We'll see if it stays down. But, again, this is a violent supercell storm in the shoals. Most likely very large hail is falling right now. That could be the size of baseballs. And again, down below that, we have potential for what could be a tornado in through here. In fact, really quickly, before I've got to go back in Studio A for just a second, but let me show the radar coming out of High Top for just a different look at this. And again, the beam height here is 8,600 feet. It's way off the ground, but it's basically the same story. I really think the Columbus radar is going to give us a better view of this thing right now coming through the shoals. But just be aware, large hail potential for a tornado. Tornado warning in effect for Colbert County. And if this continues, the warning will likely be shifted into northern Lawrence County. And again, got to hop back in Studio A. I'll do one quick hit in there, then I'll come back in here and have about 15 minutes to talk to you. So we're going to leave the live stream up, and you'll be able to watch the radar when I'm not here. And again, on the left, that's reflectivity. On the right, that's velocity. And again, just everybody be sheltered south of the river in the shoals. And this will be passing by very quickly. One thing about the storms today, they're moving along very quickly. And there's a good chance by the time I get back in this room, it's going to be out of there. But we'll hopefully give you an all clear very shortly. So again, just stay with us, watch the stream here, and I'll be back on this side of the building very shortly. And we're back. So again, we've got tornado warning in effect for Colbert County in northwest Alabama. And we have also a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for much of Lauderdale and Limestone counties. We'll kind of go through those in just a second. Again, this is the only severe storm in Alabama, the storm that is up in the shoals right now. And what I thought I would do is drop in some video that's come in from Tuscumbia. We'll take a look at that together. This was taken really before the storms got into town. And we have learned from social scientists that it is always important for us to actually show the weather instead of just showing radar. Because when people see the storms themselves, they see the damage that's been produced, they tend to do what they need to do in terms of precautions. So, again, we're thankful for everybody that took the time to send in the videos and the images. And, of course, we cannot show them all, but they are all seen and they are all greatly, greatly appreciated. In fact, again, a lot of the stuff I'm seeing, it's pretty large hail coming in from the Shoals area. In fact, I'll show you some of this video here. This is going to be from Florence, and again, north of the river, the greatest concern here, it's from hail. And again, looks like this is some of the hail that is falling in Florence, and it looks like that windshield's been cracked, which would make sense. This mostly, and again, we talked about this, the hailstones could be the size of baseballs here. That's huge. Goodness gracious. We're all kind of seeing this together. That's what it looks like in Florence now. And again, that is the type of hail that is cracking windshields. And that is not surprising at all. Again, while we're just looking at this together, seeing a lot of hail videos. So far, I've not seen specific tornado video, but that doesn't mean there's no tornado. There could be one that's all wrapped in rain. And again, that's the hail that's falling up the show. So let's go back to the radar. We'll kind of do a reset here. We are live at 5:05 on Tuesday, May 20th. This is James Spann, and we have a tornado warning that is currently in effect for the shoals. The greatest tornado threat is south of the river, and I will say the rotational signature is not as impressive now, and the storm structure is not as impressive on radar. It could cycle back up at any minute in this environment. But at the moment, I would suggest we do not have a tornado down, but large hail, yes. Again, the largest hail is falling just northeast of downtown Florence. And we should mention that we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for parts of Lauderdale, Limestone, extreme northern Lawrence, and northeastern Colbert counties. And that's for that hail part of the storm that'll be coming really down Highway 72. Killen, Center Star, Rogersville, places like that, ultimately Athens, if this thing holds together. And so, again, I think that's the one thing we can almost promise. If you're in that hail core, it's going to be pretty rough. And again, there could be another tornado that could form. But at the moment, it looks like the tornado has lifted if there was one down. I've heard of no specific reports of damage, and there's a new severe thunderstorm warning polygon. That's a kind of an odd shape there. That thing is one for a storm that seems to be headed north. The severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Colbert and Lauderdale counties for a storm that is down here in the southwest part of Colbert County for the hail core right there, and that's moving more northeast. That's the reason for the polygon there. So it's kind of it's a big mix of polygons here. We have a tornado warning polygon for a few more minutes. The tornado warning in effect until 5:15 for extreme eastern Colbert. And We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Lauderdale, Colbert, northern Lawrence, Limestone counties, and a new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Colbert and Lauderdale counties. There's a lot of stuff going on here. But again, this is really the only storm we have in progress in the state that's severe, which is a good thing. And again, there's a look at the animation of this thing coming through the shoals. And if you missed it, this is the kind of hail that was being experienced in Florence. I mean, this is windshield shattering hail. That's not good. And again, it is pretty large. And again, you can see here what it looks like out there in the streets. Again, watching some of the other images come in here, which sure helps me. Again, the images are just tremendous. And I'll drop some of these in the set so you can see them too. Again, that's hail that was in Florence earlier this afternoon. This is some video that came in earlier from Tuscumbia. And it's a day where, based on the storm motion and the wind profiles, looking at these photographs, we certainly got tornado potential. I'll just put it that way. And again, once we get everything kind of evolved into a long line, then the threat will be shifting from tornadoes to damaging straight line wind, which is still a big deal. I'm afraid we're going to have a lot of power outages tonight across the state. Take a look at some of the newer video. And again, this is probably going to be some hail video. This is coming, I think, from around Florence and the Shoals. Storm coming through there. And let's see what we've got here. A little more video from that part of Alabama. You can see a lot of debris being blown around there. And obviously the winds are quite strong. The straight line winds in this storm alone could gust to 50, 60 miles per hour. And that's the reason for the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect there. So let's go back to the radar. And again, we've got a severe storm that's come through Florence, Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals, Quad Cities. And it really looked impressive in terms of the tornado potential for a while. The structure does not look that impressive now. And I would suggest the tornado was occluded, and if we had one, we probably don't have one now. But again, it could recycle again. And the thunderstorm is really, in terms of the large hail part of this thing, it's going to come down through Center Star, Killen, down toward Rogersville, and then right down toward Athens. And there's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that part of the storm that could produce large hail and strong straight-line winds that would include extreme northern Lawrence, parts of Limestone, western Lauderdale counties. But let me stop the animation here, and we've got people that are sheltered, and I want to be able to give an all clear now to Florence, Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals. Now, Florence has not been in the polygon, but Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Muscle Shoals, you have been. The risk of a tornado is ended, so you can come out of your safe place now. And if you did not have any damage, you can be thankful that you did not have any damage, as the segment that could produce a tornado is now east of there. So again, all clear in terms of the tornado threat for Sheffield, Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia. And again, I just don't believe the Weather Service in Huntsville will extend the warning. There's still broad rotation there. And again, as long as that polygon is up, I'd be sheltered if you're in Leeton, which is right here. Town Creek is right here, right down Highway 20. And we'll see if the Weather Service wants to extend that tornado warning or not. Whatever, this is still a storm that clearly is producing some very large hail below Killen on the river, and that'll be crossing Highway 72 pretty soon, near or maybe just west of Rogersville, that hail core. So pretty nasty storm here, but I want to stress for the rest of Alabama, it's quiet. In fact, let's kind of do a big picture thing. And you can see it's very calm, thank goodness, for the rest of the state. We've got active storms over western Mississippi, the Delta. And we've got active storms over middle Tennessee, up toward Nashville, Murfreesboro, Columbia. That looks like a tornado warning in effect for the Interstate 65 stretch down below Nashville at Columbia. And but again, Alabama just quiet. There's absolutely nothing going on below the shoals right now. So if you're in Cullman, Haleyville, Albertville, Gadsden, Boaz, Anniston, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Fayette, Vernon, Hamilton, everything's fine. The storms will come later tonight for you. And the general idea is that everything evolves into a long line of storms within the next couple of hours. And as we get the linear mode kicking in, the threat will be shifting from the core threat from tornadoes to damaging straight line wind. And you can have tornadoes within a line of storms. You certainly can. Isolated tornadoes that are typically more short lived, but they're still dangerous. All tornadoes are dangerous. But we don't want to underplay the damaging wind potential, and that we might have a lot of wind damage tonight. There could be a lot of trees that come down tonight and a lot of power outages tonight. So whatever you need to do to prep for that, just consider that. And if you live in a mobile home with a lot of pine trees around, those could come down pretty easily tonight. And again, just something to think about as you make plans on what you're going to do in case you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, you can see that that severe storm that's been coming through the shoals is a little weaker, a little less organized. It's about to cross into extreme northwestern Lawrence County and the eastern part of Lauderdale County. And I would say the main concern is coming from strong winds and large hail. And again, that'll be coming out toward Rogersville. But at this point, I got to run. I'll be back here in a few minutes. And we're back. For those that don't know, I actually have my main job in life. It's to do still evening newscast on local television. So I'm having to run back and forth between this and that. We're going to fix all this soon here. Just trust me. But again, you can see that we have no tornado warnings up in the Tennessee Valley, but those storms are producing some really, really large hail. And again, going through just hundreds and hundreds of images here coming from the shoals. And so far, I've not seen any structural damage or any evidence of a tornado that has occurred in the shoals. It's all hail. And of course, there's probably some damage. We've seen cracked windshields, and I would imagine we have some hail damage. But the hailstones were very, very respectable. But let's do this. Let's stop the animation here and just kind of do a reset here. So we have a couple of really storms producing pretty large hail up in the Tennessee Valley. We have one right along US 72 at Rogersville. Again, I was up there at Lauderdale County Elementary School, last week? Had a great time. And then we've more hail coming up into the shoals again. This is the second time you've dealt with it. So again, large hail falling around not Florence, but Sheffield, Tuscumbia, up into the shoals. But the largest hail is most likely the core that's right along Highway 72 at Rogersville. And so that is moving to the east, and we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Limestone County as the storm moves out of Lauderdale into Limestone. And that thing's going to be trucking right down Highway 72, coming into Athens. And again, if you are in Athens, the greatest concern right now, it's from large hail. Now, there could be some pretty strong wind gusts here. You might see winds of 40, 50 miles an hour in spots. But I would say the largest threat for Athens would be from large hail. And this hail core is staying north of the Tennessee River. There's no southward component of motion. It's moving more due east. So a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for extreme eastern Lauderdale and a pretty good chunk of Limestone in the far western part of Madison County. And the warning, and again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. That severe thunderstorm warning polygon does include Madison and Harvest near the Limestone-Madison County line. But that's pretty big right there. That's some pretty large hail. In fact, real quickly, let's look at a product called VIL, Vertical Integrated Liquid. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, it's almost off the charts. That's goodness. See if I can find a little higher resolution product of that. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, there we go. And that's basically off the charts. Wow. Let's see. We're looking at 80 kilograms per cubic meter. That's large hail. That's really large. Wow. And again, that is in the storm that is just south of Rogersville or near Rogersville. And again, the storm coming up into the shoals, it's almost maxed out with more large hail. And again, that so far has been the biggest issue up in the Tennessee Valley. It's very large hail. So let's put on the reflectivity. And again, let's just at this point kind of do a reset. And of course, a lot of people are asking questions about where they live. And that's perfectly understandable. But for all of Alabama, south of the Tennessee Valley, it's quiet. Quiet as a mouse. Cullman, Hamilton, Gadsden, Gunnersville, Fort Payne, Point South, nothing. Everything is good. But what's going to happen, those storms to the north will ultimately roll into a line and ultimately drop south and ultimately produce very strong winds and some large hail, and there could be a few isolated tornadoes. And again, we have seen that already. Today we had that one isolated tornado that came around Waterloo up over Pickwick Lake earlier today. So thought I'd drop in some more of the images here. We can look at it together and see what conditions actually looks like. And again, thanks to everybody for sending in their photos. Whoops, sorry about that. And we'll drop some of these in. But so far, the good news, I've not seen of any specific structural damage coming out of the shoals with this. But man, those are some photogenic storms right there. Wow. We've seen a lot of wall clouds and lowerings and everything, but again, I've just not seen any evidence of a tornado in the Quad Cities as it came through, which is a very good thing. I mean, that structure was just absolutely excellent as it was coming in from the west. Again, that's an example of some of the hail that came down. And if you missed this video, that's what it looked like in Florence earlier. And again, looks like somebody's got I would assume that windshield was cracked by the hail that's falling right now. That's the kind of hail that can do that. And again, they'll pan over. You can see it down there in the street. And again, we've got that kind of conditions going on now where you got those hail cores around Rogersville and another hail core coming up into Sheffield, Tuscumbia, and Muscle Shoals. But earlier today, this was the big story. This was the tornado at noon that came across Pickwick Lake. These photographs taken from Waterloo. Lovely place. I love to visit the school there. That's a great place. But again, this was around 12 noon today, and that was a very tiny, isolated storm. The rest of the state was totally dry, but I've heard of no structural damage from that one. So again, there's the big picture, and the focus is on the Tennessee Valley of North Alabama. Whoops. And you can see that we have these hailers coming through parts of Colbert, Lauderdale, moving into Limestone counties. There is no evidence of a tornado at this point, none, which is good. And that's the reason we have no tornado warnings in effect here. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now for parts of Colbert, Lauderdale, northern Lawrence, much of Limestone, far western Madison counties. And the biggest hail core is the one here near Rogersville. That thing is kind of trucking right down Highway 72 toward Athens. So if you have a vehicle that is parked outside, you might want to get it under a carport or in a garage or some type of covering, and that this would not be the best of conditions for an outside automobile. And of course, there's a lot of lightning, tremendous amounts of cloud-to-ground lightning, but again, we just don't see any evidence of storm rotation at this point, which is a good thing. Again, I'll sit back here and take a look at some more of the images that are coming in. Yeah, some of the hailstones are just huge up in the shoals with this thing. And again, I would imagine we probably got some hailstones close to baseball size. And again, thanks to everybody for taking the time to send these in, because it gives us a look at what's actually happening at the surface. And we've talked about this before, the radar beam and what you're seeing here. It's about, let's see, I can tell you, it's 7,900 feet off the ground. So we're not getting a good low-level sample, and often it's just so much better to see actual photographs. And again, I've got a really, really good views of this storm coming through, and I just don't see any evidence that a tornado was actually down, which is good. I understand there could be some damage. We just don't know about it at this point. But again, we stress right now there are no, well, I take it back. We have a new tornado warning. About the time you say we don't have one, now we do. So let's take a look at the velocity, and let's see what we're focusing on here. In the tornado warning, it's for the segment of the storm that is right in through here, which is along 20 just to the west of Leeton. And this thing will be moving pretty much right down Highway 20. So again, Leeton over to Town Creek, you need to be sheltered. Nobody should be driving. The tornado warning polygon extends all the way over to near Decatur in Morgan County. There's Trinity right here. So again, it does include parts of extreme northern Morgan, and it includes also parts of limestone counties here. In fact, let me kind of expand this back out. It's kind of hard to see the polygons. There's so much going on here. The tornado warning polygon is right there. So we have possible tornadic circulation that is located near Leeton. And again, that circulation would be right here. pretty much coming right down Highway 20. Let me pull up the chat from the Weather Service in Huntsville. Got a report of golf ball-sized hail at Rogersville. That makes perfect sense. I would imagine there's probably some hailstones larger than that up in that part of this storm. So again, the tornado warning will be in effect until 6:15. And this is for parts of Limestone, Lauderdale, Colbert, Morgan, Lawrence counties, not the whole counties. Remember, polygons are small, counties are big. We don't need to warn for an entire county. But you can see the evidence of inflow here. There's the backside of that, very well-defined circulation. So this is the only tornado warning in the whole state. Now, we have no other warnings in effect for any other part of the state. And again, that circulation, which is right in through here, will be moving generally in this direction. And most likely, if it stays down, it will be north of Decatur and may be moving in the general direction of Athens, but we'll see. That's on down the line. The polygon does not include Athens. You're not in this tornado warning polygon. You are in a severe thunderstorm polygon. Again, we've got multiple polygons going on here. And again, I'll just say we've got really large hail falling right here on 72. That's Toyota-sized hail. That's big. And again, that is just east of Rogersville. And that hail core is moving toward Athens. So again, if you're in Athens, just be aware that you could see some really, really large hailstones falling out of this thing. And again, that's concern number one. Concern number two, it's right in through here with a possible tornado that is near Leeton, trucking right down Highway 20 down toward Town Creek. So again, you need to be sheltered if you're in this polygon. The polygon does include Trinity and Hillsboro. And it includes the western part of the city of Decatur, not quite over to US 31 or I-65. And up in Lauderdale County, the tornado warning polygon does clip Rogersville, but the main core threat will probably be a tad south of there. And again, we've got broad rotation here as well on the river south of Rogersville. There's no tornado warning in effect at this point for that, but you can clearly pick out these two distinct circulations here. We have one here, and then we have the other one right over here. So circulation number one, circulation number two. And these are moving to the east. It's 5:41. This is James Spann. We're doing a live stream here, handling severe thunderstorms that are across the Tennessee Valley of North Alabama. The rest of the state is quiet. I want to stress that. Again, we have heard of no structural damage so far, but a lot of reports of very large hail. And those reports keep on rolling in here. And the tornado warning polygon, again, it's for the circulation that is close to Leeton, approaching Town Creek. And again, that particular circulation, which is right here, this is what's prompted the warning. And that's moving on to the east. And that'll be getting along the river. Of course, if a tornado is down, when it crosses a body of water, it's briefly a waterspout, whether it's a river or a lake or whatever, or an ocean. But again, we note there's another circulation right here. So we've really got two of these things. Circulation one, circulation two. And both of those, there could be a tornado in either one of those spots. And we've got one polygon, and both of the circulations are in the one polygon here. Getting reports of golf ball-sized hail at Wheeler Dam, golf ball-sized hail in Coxie, golf ball-sized hail at Rogersville. These are very large hailstones that are falling. And again, I would suggest, based on the radar, the largest hail is the hail core that's a little east of Rogersville. And these storms continue moving on to the east. And watching some of the video coming in here. Yeah, a lot of golf ball sized hail. I'll just say that. We've got a lot. A lot of images coming in from Rogersville of large hail, which makes perfect sense. A lot of modest clouds pictures, by the way. We've got a lot of that going on, too, as well, off to the east of the storms. And the modest clouds are over the city of Huntsville. See another cracked windshield here from Joe Wheeler State Park. This is not a good day to have your car outside, I'll put it that way. These hailstones are very, very large. In fact, we'll add a few of these into the set here so you can see more of what's happening. And again, if you're just joining us, we are in the midst of a tornado warning for parts of the Tennessee Valley. And these severe storms are producing some very respectable sized hail. There could be a couple of tornadoes involved. We got a couple of circulation centers that we're watching very carefully here. But again, this is an example of the hail that is falling over the Tennessee Valley. And again, there's a quick peek at the modest that's over Huntsville, out ahead of those severe storms. But yeah, buddy, that's very healthy hailstones up and through there. In fact, you just hate to see this. It looks like this guy's windshield is totally cracked. And if you saw the video from earlier, that's not the only windshield that's been cracked by large hail. All of these photos and videos coming in from parts of Lauderdale, Colbert, northern Lawrence counties for the storms that have come through. And again, if you look out here in the street in this video, you'll see just how large the hailstones are. That's pretty impressive. Wow. All right, so let's get back to the radar. And again, I'm going to have to jump back in Studio A here in just a second, go back on TV. Once we get to 6:30, we'll be out of the evening news block, and we can focus on this. And again, if the storms get down into the Birmingham TV market, we'll go live on the 3340 streams. But we'll keep this stream going for now. So again, let's kind of do a reset here. We're watching a couple of circulations here up in the Tennessee Valley. Circulation number 1 is approaching Town Creek. And if you're in Leighton, we'll give you an all clear from the tornado part of this. We have one circulation near Town Creek. The other circulation is coming up approaching Lawson and Highway 31. That's Highway 31 between Athens and Decatur. That's Interstate 65 right there. And, of course, if these circulations continue, then we could have the warnings extended over into parts of Madison County. And just to get your bearings straight, you can see Huntsville is here. This is Athens. This is Decatur. And we have one circulation here. We have another circulation back here near Town Creek. And both of those would be capable of producing a tornado. And also we have large hail that is falling. The hail cores come down a little bit east of Rogersville, but that large hail is trucking right down Highway 72. And that is going to be in Athens here in a few minutes. So again, just for those that are in the tornado warning polygon, respect the polygon. We say that a lot, but we mean that. The warning is in effect until 6:15, the tornado warning, and again, inevitably it will be reissued or it will change in configuration between now and then. These storms are moving pretty quickly. In fact, let's take off the double box and let's just go to the single site, and we'll animate this, and you can see the progression of the storms through parts of the Tennessee Valley. The western half of the Tennessee Valley. If you're in Scottsboro, you've missed out so far. But again, the hail reflectivity core coming down a little bit in the storm that's east of Rogersville. But again, you can see those pretty well-defined hooks, the inflow notches, and the signs of rotation. We have heard of no specific reports of any damage at this point. Again, baseball-sized hail reported now just south of Wheeler Dam. Baseball, that's what we talked about. We could easily see hailstones to the size of baseballs here. And again, within Brett Adair, one of our colleagues who is in the area now, one of our chasers, he is looking at this and he's reporting definite rotation and rising air motion, but nothing down at the moment, nothing on the ground with this. And that report was 3 minutes ago at 5:46. And we've had a number of reports of wall clouds with this. But again, so far, we've not heard of any reports of a tornado being down. But one could get down at any minute. So again, the object of this is to stay sheltered if you're in a tornado warning polygon today. And again, the polygon is, we'll give an all clear for Leeton and points west. Town Creek points east, you need to be sheltered. Over into the western part of Decatur. In fact, we'll stop the animation here and we'll go back to the dual display. We can look at reflectivity and velocity. Man, some of these hailstones are big. So again, you can see these two circulations. We've got one that's coming up on US 31 between Athens and Decatur, which is here. The other one is near Town Creek. And both of those are moving east. And there could be a tornado that would come out of those spots at any time based on the conditions. And that's the one thing about it when you're doing these type of events. You really need to understand how the atmosphere looks, how it's doing, how it's working, and the wind profiles. And again, based on the model soundings that we would expect at this hour of the day, we could easily see a tornado getting down. So just be aware of that. And let me drop a couple more in here real quick, a couple of hail shots here just to show you again what some folks are dealing with today up in the Tennessee Valley. I mean, this kind of thing right here, that would hurt. Kind of an odd shape coming down. That could certainly do some damage to a car. But that was taken, I want to say, near Rogersville, that hail core coming right down Highway 72. So again, what's going to happen here, I've got to take another break, and I've got to run back into Studio A. We're kind of hopping back and forth between the old school newscast and the stream here. And at 6:30, I will be finished with the evening news block, and I can totally focus on this. I'm having to multitask in a very large way here. So again, I'll be stepping out, but I'll put the radar up here so you can watch the progression of the storms across the Tennessee Valley. And so I will be back here very shortly, but I'll be leaving this up, so we'll talk in a matter of minutes. Hang tight. All right, back again here, 6:02. Again, for those that are just joining us, we now have a new tornado warning. This is going to extend over to Huntsville. So let's go straight to the radar. And we are going to look at the new tornado warning in effect now. This includes the city of Huntsville. We have potential for a tornado that is passing about halfway between Athens and Decatur along US 31, which is here, Interstate 65, which is here. And this circulation is moving in the direction of the city of Huntsville. So again, just to get your bearings straight, we've got the potential tornado right here. And again, US 31 is here. Interstate 65 is here. This is 565 going into Huntsville. I'm sorry, 565 is here going into Huntsville. And the tornadic circulation will be passing north of 565. Of course, Madison is right here. This is Harvest. And again, this is moving to the east, maybe a little north of due east. And again, everybody now in Athens should be sheltered. Most likely the tornado is south of Athens. But again, if you're in Athens, you should be sheltered. The tornado warning polygon does include Madison and the city of Huntsville. If you're in the city of Huntsville, you should be sheltered as well. Again, just to get the polygon does include the city of Huntsville, which is here. Redstone Arsenal here, Madison, the town of Madison is in the polygon. Technically, Harvest up here is not quite in the polygon, but boy, you're close. But the circulation has tightened up here. And again, that's a pretty dangerous looking storm. But what I want to do is shift radars. We'll get a much better slice of this coming from the high top Weather Service radar. And again, both radars are showing good potential for circulation. And again, the greatest concern is going to be right in through here. And that is going to be moving in this direction. So if you are in Madison, Huntsville, near the Arsenal, the polygon does include 565 from about County Line Road on to Huntsville. Includes, of course, all of US 72 from Athens over to Huntsville. And again, this does not include Elkmont. This does not include Ardmore. You are not in this polygon in terms of the tornado threat. The tornado warning polygon does include, again, the city of Huntsville. So looking on we're on the chat session here with the National Weather Service in Huntsville and all the Weather Service offices. And again, Gerald Satterwhite of the Weather Service in Birmingham, he's actually up in the vicinity, and he's looking up into this. And Gerald at 5:57 reported a tornado in progress just north of Trinity, which is north of Decatur. And again, that is I think the main reason they issued the tornado warning here. Now, Gerald reports the tornado has dissipated from his vantage point at 6 o'clock, but this thing could recycle at any time. Got reports of trees and power lines down coming from Limestone County EMA on Little Elk Road. But again, if you're just joining us here, we have a tornado warning in effect now for parts of Limestone County and parts of Madison County. The cities of Athens and Huntsville and Madison are all in this polygon. It's a lot of people. And I know it's an inconvenient thing to do, but the right course of action, if you are in any of these places we've called out, you want to be in a small room on the lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. Put on a helmet if you have one. Bike helmet is perfect. If not, batting helmet, motorcycle helmet, football helmet. Most people that are seriously injured in tornadoes, it's blunt force trauma above the shoulders. And again, you just you want to have that on. If you cannot be in a mobile home, If you're in a trailer, you need to go to a nearby shelter or just some business that's open. It could be a fast food restaurant, a gas station, something that offers shelter, and be out of the mobile home. And nobody should be driving. And goodness, I know it's 6 o'clock on a weekday, and this is the last thing you want to say, but you cannot be in a car. You cannot be in a car and be safe. So the object here is to stop at the next exit if you're driving on an interstate. And again, the circulation right now is pretty much on US 31 and I-65 near Buc-ee's, near the Buc-ee's exit up in Limestone County. And the structure just looks a whole lot better. You can see the inflow notch here and the hook back here. And the velocity display is looking a lot better as well. Let's quickly check the correlation coefficient to see if we have any debris that is being lofted, and we do not at this point, which is a good thing. Again, we're not seeing any evidence at this point of debris being lofted. So again, we don't have a TDS or a tornado debris signature, but still, this is a pretty serious storm situation. So we are in a situation where we have a tornado warning in effect for parts of Limestone and Madison counties in the Tennessee Valley. And based on the wind profiles we have today, this could be a meaningful tornado. And we advise everybody to take every warning seriously this evening, in that this certainly could be a tornado that is down. And again, let me pop a couple of images on here. And again, we like to show what this thing is actually looking like so you can get a look at this. And the structure looks pretty good based on everything we're seeing here. In fact, there you go. This is the storm that has prompted the tornado warning. And here's a little closer look, and that could be a tornado that is down. Looks like there could be some horizontal vortices within that as well. So again, this is a dangerous situation. There's no doubt about that. So again, we have this supercell storm that is across the Tennessee Valley of North Alabama that is moving soon out of Limestone County into Madison County. And again, we'll go back to the radar display, and it's all there. We've got the hook echo. The greatest chance of a tornado is south of Athens, this region right in through here, moving like this. And again, the town of Madison is here. That's Interstate 565 here. Of course, Huntsville is here. Hazel Green, you are not in this warning. Harvest, you are close, not quite in it. Elkmont, Ardmore, these communities up here near the Tennessee state line, no, the tornado threat is south of there. And if you are in Decatur from this particular rotation, that will not bother you, but understand there's a second hook back here, and that is moving kind of in the same direction. And again, Decatur, you're kind of on the edge of all this, but if you're in the Decatur city limits, I would stay sheltered right now. It's a course of least regret. We say that a lot, but it's true. But clearly the dominant circulation is the lead circulation you see right here that is about, again, it's near the Buc-ee's exit on Interstate 65. And again, this is just south of Athens. And this will be pretty much going in the area between US 72 to the north and 565 to the south. And that'll be coming through a very densely populated part of Huntsville around Madison. So again, clearly, if you are in the Madison city limits, if you got a Madison address, be sheltered. And we don't want anybody in a mobile home. We don't want anybody in a vehicle. And if you're listening to me by car, what you want to do is just find the next exit where you can pull off and get into a gas station, fast food restaurant, any place that can offer shelter. Anything is better than a car. And again, this thing is really wrapped up, and it still looks very impressive on the radar signature here, as this is now basically crossing I-65, and again, near the Buc-ee's exit just south of Athens. And for those in the rest of the state of Alabama asking questions, there is nothing happening. Nothing. If you are in Cullman, Hamilton, Gunnersville, South, nothing. Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, Aniana, Sylacauga, Montgomery, Demopolis, there's nothing going on there. We're not ignoring anybody here. We're focusing on the storms that are dangerous, and they're all in the Tennessee Valley of North Alabama. And again, there's actually two distinct circulations here that we're looking at. And these are both, in fact, here's a report of a tornado on the ground south of Athens. That's with that dominant circulation. So again, a spotter reports a tornado on the ground, south of Athens, which makes perfect sense based on the radar signatures and everything we're seeing here. And again, the beam heights are coming down. The radar beam is about 3,600 feet because we're looking at the high-top radar here. So again, there's two circulations here, which makes it kind of confusing. The most dominant circulation is the one that's just southeast of Athens along Interstate 65. This secondary circulation is north of Hillsboro, and it's not as well defined. I just don't think we've got anything down there at this point. That might change. But again, that lead circulation is coming right into the city of Madison here. So again, tornado warning polygon in effect. This includes Madison and Huntsville. If you are in Athens, I can give you an all clear now. If you're in the city of Athens, we can give you an all clear from this tornado. Understand, I know it's raining, you're going to have hail, it's a horrible weather situation, but in terms of the tornado threat, if you're in the city of Athens, this tornado is moving southeast of you and it's moving away from you. And the other circulation will stay south of you. So we can give Athens an all clear, but again, everybody else has to stay sheltered. If you are east of I-65, in Limestone County or Madison County, in that polygon, that red polygon you see on the screen, you've got to be sheltered. So again, what I've got to do, step across the hall in Studio A and take care of some local TV news here. We'll leave the live stream up. You can just watch it live. Everything you see here is live. I'll be right back. But again, if you're in those polygons, respect the polygon. Stay sheltered. I'll be back. All right, we're back at 6:27. Very dangerous storm coming into Huntsville. You can see very impressive rotation on radar that's very tight. Right in through here, coming right into Madison. We can give an all clear to those that are west of I-65 from this particular rotation. And I've got a lot of video here, a lot that I've been looking at here, and I'll drop just one in to show you what's going on with this particular storm. So this is the apparently this is the tornado with that storm, and this is actually a water spout that's over the Tennessee River. This was taken from near Browns Ferry not too long ago. And again, you can see it right behind the tree here. This is the storm that is coming into Huntsville. But let's go back to the radar very quickly. And we have, for those that are just joining us here, we have a very dangerous storm that is approaching Huntsville. And what we want to do very quickly is go to the correlation coefficient product. And again, it's awfully noisy. There could be a little evidence of what could be a lowering right here that would represent debris being lofted. But again, the velocity display is pretty impressive. You can see in that same spot we've got the couplet, and that tornado couplet is just north of US Highway 72. And again, everybody in Madison and Huntsville need to be sheltered. Let me go to the Weather Service chat in Huntsville and kind of go through what we've got. We have reports of multiple trees down and some structural damage south of Pete's Corner on Mooresville Road. We've got reports when it came over I-65 of a wall cloud in the area of Buc-ee's. Multiple trees have been blown down with this storm in parts of Limestone County as well. And again, earlier, one of the chasers, Brad Arnold, had this down on the ground on his stream. Apparently, there was that when occluded, a different circulation popped up, and that's become a the dominant circulation. But again, what the Weather Service has done here, they've gone Tornado E. So this is now a tornado emergency for western Madison County and eastern Limestone County. In fact, I'll just read the text of the warning straight from the Weather Service in Huntsville. We have a confirmed large and destructive tornado near Madison moving east at 35 miles an hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, with complete destruction possible. The tornado will be near Huntsville around right now. Basically, it's coming into the northern part of the city of Huntsville. University of Alabama, Huntsville, UAH, Redstone Arsenal about 6:35. Alabama A&M about 6:45. So if you know anybody that is in this polygon, just be sure and call them and text them. Maybe just let them know that this is a dangerous situation. This is a tornado emergency, and they need to be sheltered. If you know anybody that's in Madison or Huntsville, most likely the greatest impact will be in the northern part of Huntsville. But again, the Weather Service in Huntsville at 6:24, 8 minutes ago, now calling this a tornado emergency for western Madison County and eastern Limestone County, and the circulation is basically on the county line. You've got Madison County to the west, Limestone County to the west, Madison County to the east, and that tornadic circulation is pretty much right on. Now it's just into extreme western Madison County. And that will continue moving in the direction of Huntsville. It's in Madison now, northern part of the city of Madison. The tornado circulation is north of Interstate 565. 565 is down here. The airport would be right down here, Redstone Arsenal right here. And again, this is coming through the northern part of Madison, about like that. And kind of expand this out. And of course, if this continues, this could ultimately move into Jackson County. But again, an extremely dangerous thunderstorm with a possible destructive tornado that is in Madison that will be moving into the northern part of the city of Huntsville. Let's go back to the Weather Service chat here. Let's going to save this and drop this in the in our set here so you can see it together. A lot of this stuff we're kind of seeing for the first time. But the main thing, we want everybody to really take these warnings very seriously, especially a tornado emergency. It's going to be a look here. From Harvest Volunteer. I'm sorry, this is from going to be from Harvest Volunteer Fire, Greenbrier Parkway and Old Highway 20, looking northeast. That's a wall cloud there. That was taken right at 6:30. But again, let's go back to the radar. If you're just joining us, we have a tornado emergency for the cities of Madison and Huntsville. What could be a large destructive tornado is in the process of moving just north of 72, US 72 in the northern part of Huntsville, the northern part of Madison. It'll be coming across the northern part of the city of Huntsville. This does not include Hazel Green. And again, you can see the circulation here. Let's take a look at the correlation coefficient product. Again, it's a little noisy, which is a good thing. You don't want to see that deep, dark blue in there. That would be a big TDS, and we don't have that at this point, which is a good thing. It seems like the tornado within this thunderstorm has been somewhat cyclic, and that's the way they typically are. But again, getting many reports of wall clouds and many reports of tornadoes up in the Tennessee Valley. And of course, in addition to the tornado threat, these things are obviously producing some very large hail as well. And what I'm doing is watching just a lot of the video here quickly for my reference to kind of get a vantage point of what we're looking at here. So the Weather Service just issued a new statement at 6:36, about a minute ago. We have a tornado emergency for the Huntsville area near Highway 72 and Jeff Road. At 6:34. A confirmed large and destructive tornado is located near Madison, moving east at 35 miles an hour. This is a tornado emergency for the Huntsville area near Highway 72 and Jeff Road. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. This is a confirmed tornado. And again, in the statement, the tornado will be near Redstone Arsenal, Huntsville, UAH, Alabama A&M around 6:40. That's basically now in 3 minutes. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Capshaw, Ryland, French Mill, Hampton Cove, Brownsboro. And flying debris, and again, this is straight coming off the text of the message here. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, with complete destruction possible. And obviously, you cannot survive a large destructive tornado in a car. Nobody should be driving in this polygon. Nobody should be in a mobile home. And again, if you are in a site-built home, we want you to be in a small room on the lowest floor near the center, away from windows. As this is a tornado emergency for the cities of Madison and Huntsville. What I'm going to do is drop some more of these into the set here so we can kind of watch these things together. And again, to everybody that has taken the time to send in videos and photos, thank you. Again, I can't show them all, but they are all seen and they are all greatly appreciated. They basically become our window to the world. And we are so thankful for that. And we're going to take this piece of video right here and move it over. We'll kind of watch this together. This is the storm that is moving into Huntsville.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
That's a freaking tornado.
You see that? Oh my
Goodness
goodness.
gracious.
Oh my gosh.
That is the storm that is into Madison, Huntsville right now.
Oh my gosh!
So again,
That's a freaking tornado.
I'm concerned that these would be very productive storms, and so far, unfortunately, they have been. And again, we just want you to see that so you'll understand. Instead of looking at the radar colors, that's what you're going to be dealing
Oh my
with.
gosh.
That's what's come down. Of course, there is a break where the tornado is cyclic. We have an occlusion process, and it
Oh my gosh!
come right back down.
That's a freaking tornado.
Based on
You see that?
everything we're seeing here,
Goodness.
pretty good evidence it's still down. So quickly, let's go back to the radar. And we've got again, everything is in place. Circulation is right here, coming through the northern part of Huntsville. Let's quickly take a look at the correlation coefficient product, and we just don't see a well-defined debris signature, which is a really good thing. We have done a number of these tornado situations with a really nasty debris signature, and we just don't see that at this point, which is a good thing. But that thing could clearly still be down on the ground. And again, the Weather Service continues a tornado emergency for the cities of Madison and the northern part of the city of Huntsville. This tornado is going to be passing north of downtown Huntsville. But again, obviously, nobody should be driving up 231 or 431 north of out of Huntsville. Nobody. Of course, nobody should be close to 72. The tornadic circulation is just north of US 72. And again, it's going to pass just north of downtown Huntsville. And we have had multiple sightings of this from spotters. You just saw the video that we showed. We're so thankful for everybody sending in the videos. And again, there's going to be a lot of these, and I'll show them to you as I can. But anytime you've got a tornado E, a tornado emergency, That is where you really, really, really want to take this thing seriously. Every tornado warning you should take seriously. Every tornado warning you should take seriously. But in a tornado E especially. Doing a couple of things here on the side. And again, I'm juggling several balls in the air here with the, again, and I want to stress too, the rest of the state of Alabama is quiet. All of this is in the Tennessee Valley. All of our problems are in the Tennessee Valley of extreme North Alabama. And again, if you didn't see it the first time, this is what we're dealing with here.
Oh my gosh! That's a freaking tornado!
Very, very dangerous thunderstorm with a tornado. It could be a large and destructive tornado. Again, that's what the Weather Service in Huntsville is saying in their text.
Oh my gosh! Holy!
Back on the Weather Service chat here in Huntsville.
Oh my gosh! That's a freaking tornado!
Greenbrier Parkway. Reports of some damage. This is coming from Limestone County EMA. That's near the Limestone Madison County line.
Oh my gosh!
We've got a very dangerous situation going on in
Oh my gosh!
Huntsville.
That's a freaking tornado!
Let's go back to the radar. The velocities have come down a little bit. But understand there's still strong evidence of circulation in that particular thunderstorm.
Where that tornado's going right now. We've got to get everybody that lives around here underground. You got to take shit where that tornado's going right now. We've got to get everybody that...
Again, watching some more of the videos coming in here, which is very helpful to me. And again, we can't show all of them, but boy, they are so helpful.
Oh my gosh! That's a freaking tornado!
You see that? Oh my goodness.
Let me back down the audio here. And let's drop another video in here so we can watch this together. But again, if you're just watching us here, we've got a tornado emergency that's in effect for the city of Huntsville, the northern part of the city of Huntsville. We've obviously got a tornado down. This is going to be some video coming from near Toyota Field in Madison, looking north into this. About a half-mile north of Toyota Field in Madison, again looking back to the north into that. And a lot of reports of hail, very large hail going on here as well. What I'm doing, I'm just kind of sorting through hundreds of photos and videos just to be sure we got a good feel for this. So again, let's go back to the radar. Let's kind of do a reset here. We are live at 6:46. The velocities have come down a little bit. The rotation a little broader. The storm is not as well organized as it was. In fact, let me kind of do an animation of the storm here. And we kind of lost the good, strong hook and the debris ball and the velocity couplet. A lot of that has faded a bit. But still, this is a dangerous storm. But I think what the Weather Service will do is, for the warning that has just been extended over into parts of Jackson County, this will be your standard tornado warning, not a tornado emergency. So the new tornado warning is in effect for northwestern Jackson and central Madison counties. A large and dangerous tornado is located over UAH or near Huntsville, moving east at 30. We've heard of no damage at UAH, by the way. And again, the tornado is going to be coming out of the Huntsville metro into Jackson County. And again, you can see here the new polygon, which is right here. So again, the new tornado warning polygon in effect for parts of Madison and Jackson counties. For the storm that has produced damage, we know that. Let's go back to the Weather Service chat and look at some more of the damage reports. Seeing a lot of trees and lines down. Of course, a lot of people are concerned about friends and relatives that are in Huntsville. And again, the one thing we like to report here, it's just good factual information. At any time like this, we don't want to pass along hearsay. We want to pass along official reports from either the EMA or the Weather Service. And that sometimes just a lot of bad reports tend to get filtered into the system. But let's stop the animation here and let's just take a look at the current structure of this storm. And you can see the circulation is about, 2 miles north of downtown Huntsville. Moving like this. Moore's Mill is right here. New Market is up here. And again, the velocities have come down a bit, but still, based on the history of this storm, you've got to treat all the warnings seriously, and you've got to be sheltered. So if you are in this polygon at all, the advice is to be sheltered. And again, over into Jackson County, just to get your bearings straight, we won't mention that Scottsboro is not in the polygon. The city of Scottsboro is right here. Of course, the radar is up here at high top. Of course, if this thing keeps on the same path, it'll be pretty close to the radar site up here. But again, Gurley is in the polygon. Maysville, which is right here, Moore's Mill. And again, there's your circulation right there. But if you're in Scottsboro, you are not in the polygon. There's no need to do anything. Obviously, you've got to watch the weather. There could be more storms later tonight. But for this one particular rotation, you don't need to do anything. So again, if you're in Scottsboro, you are not in the polygon. Paint Rock, you are not in the polygon. Owens Crossroads, you are not in the polygon. New Hope, no. This is all north of you. We can now give an all clear to the city of Madison. If you are in the city of Madison, we'll give you an all clear. You can come out of your tornado safe place right now. Got a report from power poles snapped on Sandifer Road. A lot of power lines are down. Hail is falling at the National Weather Service office near UAH, unknown size. Got a report of half-dollar sized hail in Madison at the Lowe's on Highway 73. So again, a very, very dangerous situation here with a thunderstorm. We have a new tornado watch, by the way, that is just being issued for a pretty good chunk of north central Alabama below the current tornado watch. We'll throw that up here in just a second. And again, as we get into problems farther to the south, we'll probably shift the live stream over to the ABC 3340 YouTube channel, but we'll do that here shortly, not quite yet. But the new tornado watch will include Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, and Gadsden. This will be in effect until 1 a.m. I don't think we have problems until 1 a.m. So let's drop this in the set so you can see the new tornado watch. So there we go. That's our new tornado watch. The county's in yellow until 1 a.m. And again, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, Aniana, Sylacauga, Ashland, Heflin, Fayette, Hamilton, Haleyville, Jasper, Tuscaloosa, Greensboro, Utah, York, Livingston, Aliceville, Reform. Those are some of the communities in the tornado watch. And of course, to the north, there is an existing tornado watch. We just wanted to show that. That is the new tornado watch until 1 a.m. And that does include the larger cities in north central Alabama. So again, we are back to the radar. And we've got the circulation, which is right here, northeast of Huntsville, moving away from the city of Huntsville. Give it a couple of more minutes. We can give an all clear to Huntsville. Now, understand, we've got large hail coming into Huntsville. I mean, very large hail. It's near the Space and Rocket Center. And that's about to come right into downtown Huntsville. This could be baseball-sized hail. This could be huge hail. And again, what the Weather Service has done, because the rotation is weak and the velocities have come down, they have changed the tornado warning from a considerable tag to the base tornado warning. And understand, every tornado warning should be taken seriously, whether it's a base tornado warning, considerable, tornado emergency, doesn't matter. They all need to be taken seriously. But again, the good news that the rotation is weakened a little bit northeast of Huntsville. And again, that'll be headed up toward parts of Jackson County. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Jackson, Madison, DeKalb, and Franklin counties. In fact, let's take a look at that. That's for the cluster of storms. And we also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Lawrence and Morgan counties. The storm near Priceville is likely producing hail along Interstate 65. So we've got, this is the storm that's produced the tornado coming through the northeastern part of Huntsville. And large hail is falling in the city of Huntsville right now. The tornadic circulation is northeast of Huntsville. We have the potential for large hail in the storm as it moves east. So again, the severe thunderstorm warning includes parts of DeKalb County. This would include Henniger, up towards Stevenson and Jackson County, and then back over into Madison County. And all these storms up in the Tennessee Valley. With time, all of this will be evolving into a line. And with the line of storms, the main concern will be from strong, damaging straight-line winds. So that is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northeast Alabama, parts of Madison, a small part of DeKalb County, Jackson County, for the possibility of damaging winds and large hail. And again, the tornado warning continues in effect for parts of northeastern Madison and parts of western Jackson counties. And again, just to get your bearings straight here, this is Scottsboro is down here. So Scottsboro is not in this polygon. Stevenson is up here. You're not in the polygon. Bridgeport up here. Same thing. Now, you got to watch it. I mean, obviously, everybody's got to watch the weather carefully tonight. But from this one, at the moment, you're not in a tornado warning polygon here. And I will say, most likely, some really large hail is coming into Huntsville. Really large. And the tornado part of the storm is up here. Like, we'll put back on the double boxes. And again, you can see the tornadic circulation northeast of Huntsville, which is here. And very large hail in the city back here. And the tornadic circulation moving a little north of due east, about like that. So Jackson County under a tornado warning. And again, if you missed it, this is what came through parts of Madison and Huntsville. This was earlier this evening. Getting reports of severe damage at Cliff Farms off Balch Road. This is coming from Huntsville, Madison County EMA. Again, severe damage at Cliff Farms off Balch Road. And again, that's from Huntsville, Madison County EMA. And I'm afraid we are going to have a lot of damage here. This came through a very, very densely populated part of the Tennessee Valley and Huntsville. And again, watching more of the tornado videos coming in. And again, a lot of large hail, very large hail with this storm. I've heard of no specific damage at UAH. For those that are asking about family, of course, we're kind of in a time now where school is pretty much, we're in between semesters. I think I'll drop this one in the set here so we can watch this one. Wow. You know, some of these videos are pretty impressive. All right, so this is a new video. This is Huntsville, Browns Ferry Road in Madison near Burr Green Road. And again, that's most likely a tornado is down. It's probably ran-wrapped at this point. But again, this was taken at Huntsville, Browns Ferry Road in Madison near Burr Green Road. Andrew, thank you for the video. And again, I'm just afraid we're going to have a lot of reports of some very significant damage here. And we're going to stay with this for just a second here. All right, let's go back to the radar here. We are at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, May 20th. We've had a significant tornado that has come through parts of Huntsville and Madison County, producing significant damage, parts of Madison and Huntsville, the northern part of Huntsville. And that tornado is now, if it's still there, this broad rotation, the rotation clearly not as tight as it was. But the one thing we can do now for the city of Huntsville, we can give you an all clear. So if you are in the city of Huntsville, now I understand you've got hail falling in many places, but we'll give the city of Huntsville an all clear from the tornado damage or tornado threat here in this particular storm. The threat shifting north and east of Huntsville. And the storm itself will be over soon, and you could have more. Understand there's more storms there. We got storms around Athens and Decatur, but they are currently under severe limits, as you can see. The two warnings we have in Alabama, these are the only two warnings in the whole state, a tornado warning for eastern Madison and western Jackson, and a severe thunderstorm warning for the same storm for parts of western Madison and most of Jackson counties and a small part of DeKalb County for the possibility of large hail and damaging straight-line winds. Thankfully, the rotation is much broader now, but still there's evidence of strong straight-line winds right in through here, just to the northwest of Gurley. So, again, the tornado threat for now is diminished with this storm. It looks like the Weather Service is going to be doing a new tornado warning, which they just did. All right, so here's our new tornado warning. This is going to be in effect for the storm at Priceville in Morgan County. And again, we're right there. So the new tornado warning, this does not include the city of Huntsville. This is for areas south of Huntsville. This includes Triana. This includes Owens Crossroads and New Hope, the southern part of Madison County. This is not the northern part, not the same part that was hit with that first tornado. This is a second circulation near Priceville. And again, the tornado warning does not include Decatur. This circulation is moving away from Decatur. And really, it's moving away from Priceville, moving away from I-65. And it's basically going to be kind of following the Tennessee River down toward Triana. So 2 tornado warnings now in northeast Alabama. We have a tornado warning in effect for eastern Madison, western Jackson, and again, the circulation is much broader there. And a second tornado warning in effect down here for parts of Morgan and southern Madison counties. So just to get your bearings straight on the 2 circulations, we have one circulation that is right here, very broad, nothing like it was 30 minutes ago. The other circulation is just east of Priceville. And this circulation is going to be south of Huntsville. Again, Triana, Owens Crossroads. You should be sheltered. And that broad circulation could tighten back up. That's the thing. These can be cyclic. Got power lines down at the intersection of Brock Road and US 72. They're coming from Huntsville, Madison County EMA. Large hail falling on Montesano Mountain. And again, we've got reports of severe damage at Cliff Farms off Balch Road. That's coming from Huntsville, Madison County EMA. So the storms have clearly been producing damage up in the Tennessee Valley. Again, what I'm doing here is going through a series of videos. And again, all of these are extremely helpful. So again, for everybody that's taken the time to send these in, thank you. So let's drop another one in. We'll take a look at this one together. Back down the audio just a little bit. This was the storm that passed over Madison. Madison Hospital is in the distance to the left. And again, most likely for part of its life cycle, the tornado was rain-wrapped this evening, but a lot of videos coming in from Madison. This is another one from Madison. Very well-defined structure. This looks like something out of the southern plain states instead of something in Alabama. Typically, our tornadoes are so rain. By the way, Evan, you can handle the cut-ins on the TV side, right? Okay, thank you. We've got again. My main job, it's handling weather for a local TV station here. We're trying to juggle several balls in the air. And again, once we get the storms down into the central part of the state, we'll be shifting the stream over to the ABC 3340 stream. And that's when the whole crew will be in place here. And again, that will probably happen sooner than later. And again, this is probably the, I'd say perhaps the best. Again, these are still photographs of the tornado. This is back when it was kind of coming out of Limestone County into Madison County. But again, this is probably the best look at this thing we've seen right here. That's a pretty darn good look at it. And again, this is out around Browns Ferry Road, west of Huntsville, as it was kind of moving into Madison, south of Harvest. And that's what has been producing the damage here this evening in the Huntsville area. And again, quickly, for those that did not see it, we should mention there is a new tornado watch for parts of central Alabama. This includes Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden. This is in effect until 1 a.m. And again, this is an extension, really a southward extension of the existing tornado watch that's been up through the afternoon and evening hours from Cullman north. So even though you don't see your counties highlighted there, if you're north of that watch, you've got a tornado watch as well. And if there's any encouraging news, I'm really looking at the radar, looking back off to the effect. I'll just kind of show you this together here. Let's take off the annotation, go to the single radar, and looking back to the west, in fact, let's go to the Columbus radar. We have no tornado warnings in Mississippi, none, 0. That's good. That is very good. We have one severe thunderstorm warning about halfway between Jackson and Memphis, one around Yazoo City. And other than that, we don't have any warnings in Mississippi, and that is excellent. But understand, as the low-level jet kicks in over the next couple of hours, that could easily change. And again, we could easily see a storm spinning up with a tornado. But what's going to happen, what you see on the radar, it's all going to evolve into a long squall line. And as this stuff becomes linear, the main problem will be shifting from tornadoes to damaging straight-line wind, which is still a big deal. And that could easily knock down a whole lot of trees tonight. We could see a lot of power outages tonight. The advice, if you are in a situation where you need some equipment to be working that requires power, maybe some type of medical equipment, just be aware that we could easily see some power outages tonight. There could be a lot. We'll be shocked if we had over 50,000 people to go without power tonight. So let's put one more in here. This is going to be a still shot. And this was taken near Glen Iris Elementary in Huntsville. And again, we're going to have a lot of damage here. I just have great concern about that. Let's go back to the Weather Service chat session here in Huntsville. Needless to say, a lot of power outages. We should mention that, of course. We just did, but we're getting reports of power outages now. A lot of damage in apartment complexes on Michael Avenue. And again, we're seeing more and more reports of structural damage, which is not really what you want to see here. And we'll throw the radar back up on the screen. We're at 7:11. And you can see we've got thunderstorms. The only 2 tornado warnings on that whole line in Alabama and Mississippi are the 2 up in the Tennessee Valley of North Alabama. There are some in Tennessee. So let's go back. And I've got to step out for 1 minute here. We're getting set to do a quick update on the TV side. Let me step out. I'll be right back. But before I step out, let's go back to the high top radar. And just show the 2 tornado warnings. We have 1 tornado warning for extreme eastern Madison and western Jackson. This one, then to the south, we have a tornado warning in effect for extreme northern Morgan and extreme southern Madison counties near the Tennessee River. This is all east of Decatur, east of Priceville, for a circulation that's coming up on 231 and 431 near Owens Crossroads and New Hope. And both of the signatures don't look overly impressive at this point, but they're still capable. We all know what these things have done earlier tonight. So again, at the moment, I got to step out for one quick minute. I will be right back. So. All right, we're progressing along here nicely. Again, we apologize. I promise we are working on a system where this won't be a problem in the future, where we've got having to do too many things at one time here. But again, it's currently 7:14. This is James Spann. We're live on YouTube and Facebook for a tornado situation up in the Tennessee Valley. We have had some very significant damage. And it seems as if the Weather Service is about to increase and again, the velocities have come back up on the circulation you see here, which is north of Gurley, moving up toward the radar site, up toward High Top. Skyline is right here. So again, a tornado warning remains in effect for the eastern part of Jackson County. This does not include Scottsboro. And we have a separate tornado warning in effect. And again, this circulation not looking overly impressive. We've got the hook and the pendant down here, but the circulation not looking that good on velocity. But the radar is having to shoot through a tremendous storm to see that. But again, that'll be coming up toward New Hope and Owens Crossroads. And so 2 tornado warning polygons in effect up in the Tennessee Valley. Again, I'm watching some video of the southern storm, the one that was the one where they issued the warning near Priceville. Not seeing evidence of a tornado on the ground. Looks like there's a wall cloud in that area. And again, when you see a wall cloud, that means a tornado could be forming. And again, what we'll do is just drop more of these in the system so we can kind of watch this stuff together. All right, let's do one more here. This will be from, looks like the perhaps eastern part of Huntsville out toward Madison. And I think during part of its life cycle, the tornado was rain wrapped. And again, we're getting many questions about specific communities, and until I've got some really firm information, we're not going to pass along anything that's just a rumor or hearsay at this point. But once we get it from an EMA official or from the Weather Service or law enforcement, we'll do that. A lot of obviously health and welfare streams or questions about, maybe relatives that live in Huntsville. And again, what I'm doing while I'm talking here, going through all of these various images and videos that have come in tonight, which are extremely helpful. And of course, on top of the tornadoes, that's some very, very large hail. Some of the hail in downtown Huntsville looks to be earlier. That hail core has moved on to the east now. Looks to be close to baseball size. Watching more of the video from Priceville from the southern storm down here. And again, for those that are just joining us, we have two distinct tornado warnings in effect. We have one for southern Madison County, basically for a circulation that's near the Tennessee River. The southern circulation is down in here, moving about like that. Again, this is 431 right here. Owens Crossroads is here. And it's near Triana. Again, this is south of Huntsville. This will not affect the city of Huntsville, this southern circulation. So the warning in effect for extreme southern Madison County. And then up here in Jackson County, you can see areas of pretty strong winds, and this might be more straight line, but obviously we've got potential for what could be a tornado in here, all wrapped in rain. That would be totally rain-wrapped if there's anything there. And that's coming out toward Skyline. High Top is here. That's where the radar is located. And again, Scottsboro is down here. That's the largest town in Jackson County, and this is not going to affect Scottsboro, this rotation. This will be well to the north of Scottsboro by about 8, 9, 10 miles. So if you're in Scottsboro, there's no need to do anything. And years ago, we went away from using counties when it comes to issuing warnings. And we went from the county system to the polygon system. Tornadoes are small. Counties are big. You don't need to warn an entire county for a tornado. You don't. And that's the reason we have the polygon system in effect. And it's worked out very well. And, of course, in addition to the chance of some circulation here, we could see some pretty large hail falling. We've obviously had that based on all the images we've seen. Again, I'm trying to hold off on, some of the damage stuff until I can get that confirmed. And let's take a look at one more video here. I know you have a lot of questions, and again, as soon as I get the right answers, I'll pass those along. All right. By the way, this is some of the hail that came down earlier today in Florence. Goodness gracious. Huge hail. The windshield cracked. This will be some newer video that has just come in. Again, we'll watch this together. Again, all this video coming from Madison. This is from Joseph Moses in Madison. And again, that's a nasty supercell with a tornado coming through a very densely populated part of Madison County. Goodness, I've been to almost every single school in Madison. I'm there a lot, and I love the people there, just love the schools, love everything about it. And but there's a lot of people that live there. Goodness gracious. And again, this has come through a very densely populated part of Madison County and Huntsville. And let's go back to the Weather Service chat. It looks like they're looking at what could be a TDS here. So let's go back to the radar very quickly. And let's go to correlation coefficient. Yeah, we got a pretty good lowering right up here. CC drop. Let's see if that jives up with the velocity. And it really does. Wow. We got a tornado down. So again, when you see a blue spot in this image like that that's circled, that represents a lowered correlation coefficient, which means it's not a hydrometeor. This is something else. It's not a raindrop. It's not a hailstone. It's a tree limb. It's a part of a building. It's bricks, glass, nails, debris being lofted from the ground. And the TDS on this one is at least 7,000 feet. So we have a tornado now that is confirmed. That is located northeast of Gurley. In fact, in the circle you see right there. In fact, on the left side, let's go to the velocity, and that way you can see them side by side. So we've got a confirmed tornado, and a new tornado warning has been issued for this storm. And so let's kind of explain who's in and who's out. So again, let's circle the tornado, which is right here. So Scottsboro is going to be in this polygon. It's a pretty big one. Most likely this thing is going to be staying north of Scottsboro. But again, if you're in the polygon, you respect it. Respect the polygon. Stevenson is in. Bridgeport is barely in, but it's in. Pisgah is in. Ider is in. I really think this tornado is going to stay north of Scottsboro, Pisgah, Ider, and Hollywood. But as a course of least regret, what you can do is just get in your safe place. We'll give you an all clear as soon as we can. So again, let's take a look at this together. The next sizable community in the path of this thing is going to be Skyline right here. The tornado debris signature is right here. This is in Jackson County, and this is the one that came through Huntsville. And again, this is now north of US 72. And again, if you are in any of these polygons, we ask that you respect the polygon and go to a safe place. So let's quickly flip it back over to reflectivity and velocity, and let's look at the other storm. Keep in mind we have a second tornado possibility down here. This is for a really broad circulation that is on the Tennessee River. I mean, it is literally on the river. If there's anything down, it might be a water spout. This is off to the east of Triana. And if this thing stays together, and if there's anything there, that will be crossing Highway 231, which is this road, and Highway 431, which is this road. Moving about like that. Owens Crossroads is here. New Hope is here. Tornado warning polygon remains in effect for those communities. And that will be in effect until 7:30 this evening. And checking all the other reports, Jackson County EMA reports a tornado that is down, where we got that correlation coefficient drop. In fact, let's go back up to our second storm up here. It is this one. Jackson County EMA reports a tornado down. At the time, it was near Gurley. And, of course, now it's northeast of Gurley. Gurley is down here, moving in the direction of Skyline. Skyline is right here. So let's look at the correlation coefficient. Let's see if we still have a drop. Not as well defined as it was, but the drop is located right there. So again, quickly, let's go through some of the videos that we have seen here. And again, this is probably the best view of the tornado that we have seen earlier. And this was west of Huntsville before it got into town, got into Madison and Huntsville. And again, that's a pretty impressive look at this thing. The one thing I can tell you now, I do not, and again, I've got all these chat sessions up. We've got a lot of sources here. We do not have any reports of any injuries at this point. There could be, but I just don't know of any. And we've got a lot of reports of structural damage, obviously, with something like that. And we'll drop a new video in the session here. Again, these are some other videos of that particular storm. This is going to be from town Madison. I take that back. That is not the one from town Madison. This is going to be. We're basically going to watch all of this together. And again, all of this was captured as the tornado was coming through Madison and areas just west of Huntsville. And that circulation stayed a little north of downtown Huntsville. Another look at the same tornado. These are still images. And again, we've seen some evidence of these horizontal vortices, which would often represent a pretty significant tornado here. But again, so many people are asking the questions about relatives and friends and businesses and locations. And I've heard of nobody injured. That's the one thing I can report. And again, obviously at this early phase of the game, there's a lot of things we don't know. But specifically through the EMA channels and the Weather Service channels, we don't have any reports of any injuries. That could change. There's a lot of reports of structural damage, a lot. And again, all of these videos were captured over the the western part of Huntsville and over toward Madison as the storm came in. And again, the greatest concern now in terms of what we've got, it's for those of you in Skyline. In fact, let me go back to the velocity display. And again, first off, you can see the lowered correlation coefficient right there. This tornado is coming into Skyline. And in fact, there's the new volume scan, and it's basically that tornado is right over Skyline right now in Jackson County. This is in northeast Alabama, northeastern corner of the state. In fact, let's put the velocity display on. And again, it looks like there's almost two distinct circulations in through here. But again, that's a very dangerous storm. And this is the one that produced the tornado in Madison and Huntsville. And that is coming through Skyline. That is moving northeast. And again, we have a tornado warning polygon. Now, the tornado warning polygon does technically include Scottsboro and Pisgah. But really and truly, this circulation is going to stay well north of there. We try to make the polygons as small as we can so people don't have to take precautions that don't need to. And again, for those asking, let me just say on the positive side, we have no other issues in the entire state in terms of tornado activity. We have these 2 tornado warnings up in northeast Alabama. That's it. In fact, I'll do a big picture view here in just a second. But again, let's go to the reflectivity in the left. We'll put the velocity on the right. Let's go back to the other storm we're watching. This thing down here, it looks pretty good. I will say the tornado, I would suggest there's probably a tornado down looking at that just crossed Highway 231. That's about to cross Highway 431. So listen up. Owens Crossroads, New Hope, you stay sheltered. You should have been sheltered 20, 30 minutes ago. But again, the tornadic signature is really ramped up now in the storm that is approaching Highway 431, Owens Crossroads, New Hope. I've been to the schools there. Great communities, love it. But you got to be sheltered. Helmet if you have one. Bicycle helmet, perfect. a batting helmet, motorcycle helmet, football helmet. No trailers, no cars. Nobody should be on 431 right now. Nobody should be on 431. And we prefer for folks to be out of trailers, of course. There's no safe place in a trailer. None. No cars. You've got to be sheltered. You've got to be out of a car, out of a mobile home. So again, this thing is really, really ramped up. The southern storm. And again, this is in southern Madison County, up in the Tennessee Valley in North Alabama. That circulation is coming right up toward 431, Owens Crossroads and New Hope. So this is one of two circulations we have in progress here. The other one is up here at Skyline. So again, circulation number one. In fact, there's a new volume scan up in here. Looks like the thing might have occluded up there near Skyline. The velocities have come down. These velocities are quite high, coming up on Owens Crossroads and New Hope. And again, watching for signs of any damage reports that I can pass along here. The damage I've seen, a lot of trees are down. We know that. There's been some structural damage. We understand one apartment complex was hit. Looks like we got some video coming in from Jackson County, so we want to drop that in here. And that will be very helpful. All right, let's see if we can get the Jackson County video in. This is going to be near Woodville. All right, so this is Jackson County. And again, this is the circulation that was close to Skyline. All right, so let's go back to the radar. And again, we've got two distinct circulations, the only two in the whole state of Alabama, in the northeastern part of the state. So we have, I would suggest the tightest circulation is this one that is located right here, coming up on Highway 431 at Owens Crossroads, near New Hope and Owens Crossroads. And that will keep on moving out toward Woodville and Paint Rock. This should be passing north of Lake Gunnersville. So that is the first circulation, and the second one is up here. It seems like this one's dissipated right now. The Jackson County circulation has pretty much gone away. For now, could come right back. But again, the CC drop is gone. We've lost the velocity couplet, and the storm is much less organized up here in northeast Alabama. Still, there's a tornado warning polygon in case it ramps up again. You don't want to just cancel a warning and it comes right back up. You have to reissue. And typically, the Weather Service will let this run for a while, watch several volume scans to watch the trends. But what's coming towards Stevenson up here, the good news, the circulation has really, really dropped off. Still, you could see some hail, some strong winds, and it could ramp right back up. And as long as you're in the polygon, you stay sheltered. And again, I just don't, I'm not ready to give any all clear to Scottsboro and Pisgah down here in Eider, but the broad circulation is passing far north of there, up in the northern part of Jackson County. So So again, the one circulation that looks really tight and well defined is this one down here at Owens Crossroads. And probably we have very large hail falling on Highway 431 right now north of Owens Crossroads, and potential of a good circulation that is right here that's about to cross Highway 431. So just be aware that we've got the greatest tornado potential right now along Highway 431. This is well south of Huntsville. This will not affect the city of Huntsville. And again, that will continue moving to the northeast. Watching a lot of video here, which is very helpful. Looking at some images actually coming in from Owens Crossroads, and at the moment I'm not seeing a tornado down in these images, which is good, but there certainly could be one. And again, I'm seeing more trees down. And a whole lot of hail here. Looks like this might be some new video of the tornado when it was just west of, or near Athens. This is, of course, earlier this evening. We'll put that in the system here. Take a look at that together. Again, we're at 7:39. If you're just joining us, we are in the process of dealing with a significant tornado event in the Tennessee Valley in North Alabama tonight. We are watching a couple of circulations on radar. And this is going to be a good example of the stuff that we have dealt with today. This was taken in Limestone County. And again, this was not too far from Athens. And again, that's the parent storm that dropped the significant tornado over toward Madison and Huntsville. For a while, for those that were not with us, we had a tornado emergency for the cities of Madison and Huntsville earlier this evening. That broad circulation is currently over Jackson County, well to the east of Huntsville. But we still have a couple of tornado warnings in effect up in the Tennessee Valley, and we have no issues to the south. But I thought what we'd do here, so many questions. Let's do a broad view here, a reset, if you will. So what we'll do is go to a single display. Let's go to Shelby County Airport radar. And so that's the big picture, if you will. You can see all the storms are over the Tennessee Valley. And we have the two tornado warnings, one for southern Madison, and we have one for parts of Jackson counties. Other than that, we've got one severe thunderstorm warning around Decatur, and we don't have any problems south of the Tennessee Valley at this point. We have no severe weather warnings for any place close to Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden. Things are fine. But all of this will basically evolve into a long line and drop south. And typically with a linear type event, the main problem comes from damaging straight line wind. There could be a few isolated tornadoes, but we'll be more concerned with damaging straight line winds with a line dropping south later tonight. And but there could be a few embedded tornadoes within the line, and also the chance of still some large hail. Most of the good high-resolution models have suggested the storms could be near Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, Gadsden around 10 o'clock tonight, where weather conditions by then will start to improve over the Tennessee Valley. I know if you're in, goodness, Florence, the Shoals, Huntsville, you're tired of this. Athens, Decatur, you're tired of it now. It's been a rough ride, but things will improve there in the next couple of hours with the threat shifting down to the south. And really to the west, things look relatively quiet. There is one tornado warning around Yazoo City, Mississippi. But again, Mississippi relatively quiet now, which is good. And the current tornado warnings up there in the Tennessee Valley. So again, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, around 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock tonight, you'll have a line of storms coming through. Montgomery, Selma, Auburn, Opelika, Lake Martin, be closer to midnight, maybe 1 a.m. Storms should be weakening at that point. And they should just pretty much fizzle over South Alabama well after midnight. Just a few showers tomorrow morning for extreme South Alabama. The better chance of any severe storms over the northern part of the state, where we've got that level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe storms for tonight. And again, we've got a tornado watch. This is the one that's in effect until 10. This includes the Tennessee Valley and Cullman County, and that's till 10. And then we have this tornado watch in effect until 1 a.m. that includes Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, and Gadsden. So back to the radar. Let's go back to our northeast Alabama situation here, where we got the really active weather. And again, you can see those multiple storms rolling through the valley. And they're big ones, producing a lot of hail, occasional tornadoes, strong straight-line winds, a ton of lightning, gobs of lightning. And they'll slowly sag to the south. So let's stop it and let's look at the velocity display. We'll do the side-by-side. And again, I would suggest the greatest possibility of a tornado at the moment could be near Owens Crossroads. The circulation looks a little weaker and broader on this scan, but it could come right back up. This is voice saver stuff here, because there's a chance we're going to have to go on the other stream for several hours. But again, that's circulation number 1. Circulation number 2 is up here approaching Stevenson, right here. And it's fairly broad, and it's not especially strong. The wind velocities have come down, but still, if you're in Stevenson, stay sheltered. That's the object of the game here. And again, we can clearly tell you that if you are in Scottsboro or Pisgah, this is far north of you. I can just tell you that you don't have to be in your safe place at this point. You can come out and everything is okay. That tornado threat is far north of you. Again, the concern would be Bridgeport or Stevenson back up to Bridgeport for the circulation that you see right there in Jackson County. But it's broad and the velocities have come down. That's good. And again, the second circulation is down here at Owens Crossroads. It looks a little disorganized, but it's still there, moving northeast up toward Woodville and Paint Rock along Highway 72 right here. Getting some new reports coming in from Harvest Volunteer Fire. This is in Madison County. Madison County Fire reports several structures collapsed, along with trees and power lines down in the area of Killingsworth Cove Road and J.B. Hawkins Road. So again, several structures collapsed, and I can pass these on. This is coming from official sources. And trees and lines down in the area of Killingsworth Cove Road and J.B. Hawkins Road. And that's coming from the Harvest Volunteer Fire Department. So a couple of circulations up here in northeast Alabama, one approaching Stevenson, one near Owens Crossroads. And that is where we stand at this point. Looks like we've got some video coming in from Bridge Street in Huntsville. And we will take a look at that. And again, for everybody, thank you for taking the time to send in the videos this evening and the images. Again, we can't show them all, but they are all seen and they are all greatly, greatly appreciated. Very much so. So let's take a look at the video that's come in from Bridge Street in Huntsville. Of course, it's getting pretty dark at this point, but again, and most likely the tornado is rain-wrapped. Again, the best
Have you just
video
gone through
we've
there?
gotten tonight of this thing is here. This is taken up around Browns Ferry Road. This is west of Huntsville. And that's pretty impressive right there. Of course, the Weather Service, they will have a survey team to do the storm survey work, and we will know much more about the rating of this, the EF scale rating. Just got a pretty good image from a doorbell camera down in Owens Crossroads showing what could be a tornado that is down. That would make sense. We had a really good circulation there just a few minutes ago. Seeing some more pretty impressive. There's a lot of really, really good video here. And I promise I'm going to see every one of these videos. And I thought what we do here is take a look at another one. And again, this is going to be from areas west of Huntsville. Get it dropped in here and get it set right. And get the volume turned down. Yeah, this looks like something you might see in Kansas or Oklahoma. That really does not look like an Alabama tornado. So this video was taken at Browns Ferry and Gray Road in Madison. Wow. That's some pretty impressive stuff right there. Again, this was the tornado to the west of Huntsville, and looks pretty sizable. This is a good one. Based on all the videos that we have seen. And again, this was taken from Alyssa Laughlin. She's at Browns Ferry and Gray Road in Madison. And again, we don't want to spend too much time on the videos here because we have ongoing problems. And of course, as all of this begins to shift to the south, the problems will shift to the south as well, down toward Cullman, Gadsden, Haleyville, Jasper, Birmingham, Anniston, Tuscaloosa later tonight. But let's go back to the radar very quickly and take a look at our two distinct circulations. We have one circulation that's up here near Stevenson and one that's down here that's between US 72 and US 431. And they're both relatively disorganized. They don't look as good as they were earlier tonight. But based on the wind profiles we have and the atmospheric conditions, they're still capable of producing a tornado. And the Weather Service in Huntsville is going to maintain those warnings for now. Harvest fire is on the scene of a tree through a house at Wedgwood Terrace Road and Nick Davis. No entrapment, no injuries. And that's the good thing I can tell you. We've heard of no injuries in any of this tonight, which is pretty amazing. We've had some structural damage. And there could be injuries. We just don't know about them yet. Anytime a tornado comes through a densely populated area like Madison and Huntsville, there's great concern of what's happened, but we just don't know a lot at this point. Oftentimes, we don't know the full story until the first light of day the next day. Got a report of a tree across the road, Owens Crossroads, Worley Road, and Old Big Cove Road. That would kind of jive up with the reports we've had, the radar images. We've got reports of power lines down along Highway 79 and Skyline. And again, that would make sense based on the radar images that we have seen. That's coming from Jackson County EMA. Weather Service is going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Jackson and DeKalb counties as the circulation has really weakened up in Jackson County. And I think what they're going to do is basically replace the tornado warning with a severe thunderstorm warning. And that the circulation is greatly weakened. It's very broad near Stevenson. So again, a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern DeKalb and parts of Jackson counties. The eastern part of Jackson County for the storm as it pushes over toward the Tennessee and Georgia state lines. This is the far northeastern corner of Alabama. And the tornado warning for Jackson, they're just going to let it expire at 8 o'clock. It goes out at 8 o'clock anyway, so this will not be extended. So if you're in Jackson County at 8 o'clock, your tornado warning goes away. And quite frankly, from all practical purposes here, we can tell you that you can come out of your safe place. So Jackson County, the Weather Service is replacing the tornado warning with a severe thunderstorm warning. So technically it runs until 8 o'clock, but again, based on that radar signature, there's just no tornado there. So Jackson County, no tornado at this point, which is good. So that's going to leave us with the one tornado warning in effect down here for the southeastern tip of Madison. And again, the circulation is located right here between New Hope and Woodville. This is US 72 right here. This is US 431 right here. And the circulation is between those two highways. And so that is our one tornadic circulation we have between New Hope and Woodville in the far, far southeastern part of Madison County. And again, in just a second, I've got to step away for one bit of duty, one duty I have to have over here in the studio. And I've got to record one radio update. I do weather on a number of radio stations, and I've got some radio updates I've got to do. So I'm going to step away. We'll leave the radar up, and I will be back in a matter of moments. So we'll talk soon. Y'all hang tight. And we're back. We are live at 7:59, and we have a big cluster of storms across the Tennessee Valley of North Alabama. And let's do a quick reset for everybody that's joining us here, and we're trying to answer all of your questions. And I should mention we do have new severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Franklin and Lawrence counties for a storm line segment that is coming through western Franklin County. That'll be coming across Highway 43, Russellville, Phil Campbell. There could be some strong gusty winds, no evidence of a tornado there. So again, the latest warning, it's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for parts of Franklin and Lawrence counties. This includes Russellville, Phil Campbell, Moulton, with the possibility of hail and strong winds. The only tornado warning we have now, it's this warning you see over here. That is for parts of northeast Alabama. And it looks like the Weather Service has issued a new warning in effect until 8:45. And this is your new polygon right here. Basically a square. Sometimes polygons can be a square. And let's look at the side-by-side here. And again, you can see we have potential for circulation right in through here. And again, you've got really the reflectivities indicating the circulation is closer to Grant. But this is the circulation that is crossed over Highway 431. And again, this could easily drop a tornado. And we now have reports, 911 confirms, and this is from the Weather Service in Huntsville, 911, they confirm that there is a tornado right here south of Woodville. So we now have a confirmed tornado that is kind of where Madison, Jackson counties come together, and that's moving east over here, and that could affect Lake Gunnersville, the northern part of the lake. The core part of the lake is down to the south of this. Grant and Langston, they're kind of sitting up on the northern shore here. But again, tornado warning in effect now. In fact, let me just read it off here. This is for parts of Marshall, Jackson, Madison, DeKalb counties until 8:45. A tornado is located south of Woodville, moving east at 35. This is radar indicated. This again, we've got a report from 911 of a tornado down with this. So some of the locations affected by the tornadic storm would include Dutton, Paint Rock, Langston, Rosalie, Pleasant Groves, Garth, Larkinsville, Pine Ridge. And again, this is a case where the polygon technically does include Scottsboro. But this time, the circulation most likely is going to pass south of Scottsboro. We'll see how it all plays out. Again, that's the way these things work sometimes. But again, we've got the circulation right here, just south of Woodville, moving about like that. Section is right here. If you've never been to Section, you ought to go up there and just stop at the park and overlook the Tennessee River. It's gorgeous, just gorgeous. Of course, the river is down here, and there's Scottsboro right here. And this thing will be moving in the direction of Section and Dutton. Pisgah, which is right here, this could stay south of there. And again, we don't know how it ultimately behaves, but you can see that there's pretty well-defined circulation now, again, south of Woodville. This is kind of where Jackson and Marshall counties come together, and that'll keep on moving to the east. So that's the only tornado warning we have in the whole state right now is that one, and that's in effect until 8:45. So quickly, let's expand this out and take a look at the big picture again. And you can see that the whole thing up in the Tennessee Valley, it's starting to fill in and form a line. And as this becomes more linear instead of cellular, the main threat will be shifting from tornadoes to damaging straight line winds. And there could be isolated tornadoes within the line. But again, just be aware that the main concern will be ultimately shifting over to damaging straight line winds. And if we do have a long line of storms that will be coming through Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, Cullman, Jasper, places like that, this could knock down a lot of trees and create a lot of power outages. So again, if you've got some type of medical equipment that you need to have power to work, just be aware, plan on some power outages as the line comes through tonight. And again, if you live in a structure where you've got a lot of pine trees around that structure, understand those suckers could come down. Reports of Madison damage. Madison Heights and Sage Trails apartments sustained damage. And West Madison Pre-K, from what we can tell, the school did not have any damage. These apartment complexes are close to that. But again, despite all of these reports, we have still had no reports of any injuries in Huntsville, Madison. And if you weren't not with us for a while, we had a tornado emergency for Madison and Huntsville, the Tornado E. And typically nothing good comes out of those things. But again, it seems as though perhaps, maybe, just maybe, we've gotten away with no injuries. We don't know that yet. Again, I stress we don't know that. There's so many things we don't know at this point. But the storm should reach Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, we'll say sometime between 10 o'clock and midnight. 10 o'clock and midnight tonight. Montgomery, Demopolis, Auburn, Opelika, Selma, it's going to be after midnight to 2 a.m. for you. Storms should be weakening at that point as they drop on down to the south. So again, let's go back up. And it looks like we might have another tornado warning now. It looks like we have a separate one that's been issued here by the Weather Service in Huntsville. And we do. So let's go back up to the high top radar. And I can see really two distinct hooks, one here and one over here. So this first, the new warning that was just issued, this is going to be for parts of Jackson, Madison, and Morgan counties. This is for a severe thunderstorm producing a tornado south of Redstone Arsenal. And again, the city of Huntsville is right here, downtown Huntsville. And the Arsenal property is down here. And so the concern, it's what's going on down here, south of Huntsville, right in through here. And so we've got radar-indicated rotation, possibly a tornado on the Redstone Arsenal property south of Huntsville, moving east at 45. And this will be near Owens Crossroads. Same thing. I know that you've been sheltered before, but again, unfortunately for New Hope and Owens Crossroads, another tornado warning, another call to shelter. And I will say we've also got a pretty impressive looking rotation here. This might be, best of all, this thing near New Hope over here. So again, you can see a hook with that. So again, we've got evidence of rotation now, a little east of New Hope, a little west of Owens Crossroads, and we've got the warning over here for the possible tornado that is located northeast of Grant. So let's kind of expand this out and show those three circulations here. One circulation northeast of Grant, one east of New Hope, and one that is west of Owens Crossroads. All of this is south of Huntsville. This will not affect downtown Huntsville. This is all south of Huntsville, down toward the river. No impact on the city of Huntsville. And again, these are moving pretty much to the east, kind of like trains on a track. And another severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. This is for the storm near Hartselle and Priceville. So again, a new severe thunderstorm warning for the storm that's along Interstate 65 between Hartselle and Priceville, but the possibility of large hail and strong winds. We've got what could be tornadoes now west of Owens Crossroads, east of New Hope, northwest of Langston. And again, those are lined up like trains on a track, coming right down the track. And again, you can see that if these things hold together, again, circulation 1, 2, and 3. Over here, you've got in the path, you've got Section here, Dutton here, Henniger here. Most likely, these circulations stay north of Rainsville and south of Scottsboro, but there's no guarantee. Again, those communities are technically in the polygon. And if you're technically in the polygon, you're in the polygon. So again, we've got so many images that are coming in. Oh, wow. Look at some more of these tornado images from earlier this evening. Pretty remarkable images, to say the least. We'll drop a couple of more of these. We'll take a look at this together. All right, so let's do this, and we'll do this, and we'll take a look at some more video here. And again, this is the storm that was coming into Huntsville. This is the storm that prompted the tornado emergency, the Tornado E. Tor E for Madison and Huntsville. And you can see the whole thing is rotating. And the atmosphere is just prime for this stuff tonight, based on the photographs and everything that the models were suggesting. And I've said this before today, and it's very true. Whenever you have an event like this in late May, you've got a summer-type air mass with extremely high instabilities with spring-like dynamics. And one of the analogs that showed up today was May 27th of 1973. And for those that don't know, we had an F4 tornado on that night that hit Greensboro and Brent, killed 5 people in Brent. It produced a horrible rash of tornadoes. We had one tornado in the northeast part of Birmingham in Center Point. So that is one of the analogs that was showing up, and that's an example of what happens in late May when you've got spring-like dynamics in here. And sure enough, this thing has produced a number of tornadoes across parts of North Alabama. And again, what you see here, that's the tornado that was coming into Huntsville and Madison earlier this evening. So we're live at 8:13, and again, at some point this evening, we're going to shift away from this live stream to the 3340 live stream as the storms drop to the south. But we'll stay here for a while longer. And again, let's go back to the radar. We've got these multiple tornado signatures on radar. And let me get the annotation off. We've got a fairly broad rotation that is north of Langston. The rotation that is east of New Hope is broader. And the rotation west of Owens Crossroads is fairly broad. These are not classic wicked tornado signatures, but understand, with the atmosphere the way it is, we could have a tornado ongoing in any of these 3 particular sites here. We have a report now coming in of 6 or 7 trees down along Interstate 65, southbound at mile marker 347. 1 lane is open, 2 lanes are shut down. So again, we have 6 or 7 trees down on Interstate 65 southbound at mile marker 347. 1 lane open, 2 lanes are shut down. We have a report now at Flat Rock on Highway 71, Alabama Highway 71, of multiple trees down there. And again, so many of these reports are rolling in here of trees that are down. Alabama Highway 65 near County Road 10, Paint Rock, we have road blockage because of trees. Have a report of a large tree down on Vaughn Bridge near 266 Taylor Road, also on Vaughn Bridge Road in the Oak Ridge area in Morgan County. So we've just got a mess. These storms are packing a punch. And again, it doesn't have to be a tornado to knock down trees and power lines. We all know that. So again, this is the big picture. We've got multiple warning polygons. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now. We should mention we have our first warning for Marion and northern Lamar for a storm that's coming into Hamilton. So what that means is that we're going to be shutting this stream down and shifting it over to the ABC 3340 stream. So what we're going to do is stop this, and if you want to follow what I'm doing, go over to the ABC 3340 YouTube channel or the ABC 3340 Facebook page. You could watch it there. Of course, we're not on television yet. We're not going to do that unless we have tornado warnings here. So that's the two ways to watch us. So again, we'll stop this stream. Go to youtube.com/ABC3340 and also their ABC 3340 Facebook page. We'll be live. Evan Chick-Vera is here with me in the studio, and we're going to go to Studio A and pick things up over there. So thank you guys for watching this stream. We'll see you back on the 3340.